Oliver Fade takes it there, contains strong language, intense violence, and is not intended for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Hi, and welcome. This is Oliver Fade, and I'm bringing you the podcast that speaks the truth about the streets.
What you doing on our turf? What you doing on our turf?
Welcome to our second episode where we have our very first guest, and I'd like to welcome him. He goes by the name of Rowdy, and I actually know him personally. He's a friend of mine. We met in grade school back when I had to go to school on the other side and, meet the people that had my back, which he was one of them. So Rowdy, certainly a survivor of the streets, and I'm glad to have you on the show. I'm glad you're here. And tell us about your story, man. Tell us where you come from. Tell us everything.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to be here. But my story pretty much, I was adopted at the age of 2. I grew up on 4952 South Horn. From kindergarten, I basically I met Oliver in kindergarten. We became classmates at about 3rd grade. We pretty much ran the school, 2-man crew. But we were bad kids, but at the same time, we never failed. We at 3rd grade.
Why were we bad?
I don't know, just bored maybe.
I think we were distracted. I think we were bad because we were distracted. Because I remember, I wanted to learn. I liked reading. Yeah. And then I was like, I can't read. I can't.
You were actually smart. I remember you used to get A's and B's. And I was just bad pretty much in math. But in 3rd grade, we started a rap group, was it? And me, you, and Elias.
Was it in 3rd grade? It could have been 4th grade. But bring.
Oh, it was like 5th or 6th grade.
Yeah, great. It was grade school.
Yeah.
But tell us, because we know each other personally, and we could talk forever, and catch up. Tell us about. Obviously we were bad kids. We were in the hood, and something was causing us to not be able to concentrate on, our academics. Mm-hmm. But as far as your household, you said you were adopted. What was your household like when you were growing up? Did you have a father and mother? Did you have siblings? Was there anything at home happening, or was it more like the streets were corrupting you?
Yeah, so at home it was actually great. It was nothing, we didn't really need for anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I actually, growing up, I used to think we were poor until I actually hit the streets and seen what poor was. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I'm actually living, middle class.
Yeah, compared to who, right?
Yeah, compared to the streets itself, just growing up, sleeping in cars and having a place to stay. You know what I'm saying? And it's just the streets just.
So you're saying that you yourself were sleeping in cars?
Slept in cars, slept in bandos.
So what got you to that point?
Just wanting to be outside.
So you wanted to be outside?
So it was basically, my mom was real strict. So I want to say I probably started running away from home 12, 13.
So you wanted to be independent. You didn't like the rules at home.
Yeah.
You decided to go outside, and you just happen to live in the hood where if you went outside your house, outside those walls,
So
there was another world that you had to deal with.
So the area I grew up in was back of the yards, and where I stayed 4952 South Horn. So it was like I hung on the other side of the tracks,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So
The other side.
every day it was a struggle going home because it was like, okay, I went to school, and then it was like inside of school, okay, I was cool, but it was like starting to get 7th, 8th grade. Remember, your mom used to have to give me rides from homeschool.
Yep,
I
yep.
had to fight every day coming out of school. And then graduated like 13, and I ended up becoming affiliated and catching a murder.
You caught a murder case?
At 13. Caught a murder. I was locked up, like 2 years. I got found not guilty. Got
So you
out.
were in juvenile
Yeah, I was in juvenile. My first time ever going to juvenile.
for murder.
Murder.
2 years.
2 years. And I ended up getting found not guilty.
So at 15 you were released.
15, I was released. I went to a high school for a week, orientation. And I was actually in class September 11 when the planes crashed.
Oh, you had gotten out.
I was in the office when they
So
hit.
2001.
No, I hadn't
Was
gotten
it?
out yet.
Oh, you were locked up.
No, this is before I got locked up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my first week of high school, because I went to Cali, and then I end up catching my murder, and then I
So
got
how did you catch this murder case?
just wrong place at the wrong time. Wrong place, wrong time.
Were you the only one that got charged?
No, it was actually 6 people charged.
So it's one of those situations where there's a murder, and if there's certain amount of people there, like let's say in a car, everyone in the car gets charged for that murder. That
Yeah.
kind of situation.
Yeah, accountability, basically. That's basically what it is, what they'll try to charge you with. Accountability. But
So 6 people went to jail for murder. Are any of those people out or serving more time?
it's actually 2 people still locked up.
Did they get life or
85 and 28.
85 or 28 years? I see.
Yeah. You know, it was a lot that went on with that, but
I mean, that's like the beginning for you're a very young individual already experiencing going to jail for murder. 13 years old. So that in itself, has a great impact, and luckily you got out.
yeah, I got out. I was getting in more trouble. Catching cases, going back to the audio home. I end up at 16. I was like full in the streets. Like I was basically a grown. Like at 16.
At 16, you're no longer a shorty, what they call a shorty.
Yeah, at 16, I was like what you already consider grown.
Yeah.
So I went to court.
You caught another case at 16? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I violated my probation. I was on the run.
Oh, okay.
I was on the run for 11 months, and I was outside every day. I kind of like changed my identity, my appearance and shit like that, but I eventually got caught. And when I got caught, I went to court. My mom and my probation officer tried to get me sent to like a group home, like where they said they used to send my sister to the group homes and shit like that.
Okay.
So I'm like, what? Nah, this ain't gonna go like that. Y'all there 401 conference. You feel me? ASAP. Put me in the 401, not a 402, because it's like 402, you kind of like copping out. You know what I'm saying you guilty. 401, 401 me. So I go in there and I tell them like, my mom don't take care of me. I don't live with my mom. And the judge was like, do 30 days and I'll self-release you to yourself.
Okay.
So in a way, I just basically got emancipated. Like when you self-releasing to me myself, what that is, right? Like you go live if you've been living on your own for this long, continue,
At 16.
16.
So you did 30 days and then they released you?
They released me, got out. Just around the time I had my daughter, and today is her birthday.
Oh, wow. Happy birthday.
Yeah, I love you no matter what. And so, yeah, I got out and went back, basically, neighborhood, and it was probably around like,
So where were you living? Where were you living when you got out?
when I got out, I was staying in my friend's house, Chindo.
Okay.
Yeah, in his basement. We had a little apartment right there, and I basically moved in there. And from there, for a long time, I moved from house to house to house to house to house to house.
So you're basically homeless. I mean, that's considered homeless when you don't.
Yeah,
right?
homeless. Yep. I'm just now, at the age that I'm at right now, starting a business and, basically.
Well, you've survived. I mean, we were at 16. You're like, how old are you now?
I'm 35.
Okay, so you're like twice that age.
Yeah.
You've lived a whole nother, 16, 17 years. So when you got out at 16 years old, you continued to be in the streets, and you were already, considered a OG or somebody to the effect of you're not a shorty anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Why? What makes you not a shorty?
I would say,
You paid your dues. You did.
Yeah, it's more.
You did some work.
It's more about the work you put in versus
What's
how
that?
you
What's that mean? The work you put in.
work. Standing on the business for the business standing on you.
Like, give us an example. Tell us a story. Tell us a scenario that you.
I mean, as far as like,
Because I know you have to hold guns. It's the streets. People are getting shot. You've gotten shot.
yeah, but see, the thing is, right? It's like, okay, I already know how it is. Like, basically, if you have an influence over a crowd, you see what I'm saying? So it'd be like to the point where I pushed other people, and
I see. So you're kind of like calling the shots. Like, hey,
but without calling the shots.
without calling the shots.
Yeah. So basically, like, when we got out of the Audi home, they had like a little party crew or whatever. We took it over.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like basically we were leading off instinct, and it's like we were basically taught wrong for a long time. Like now it's like I look at a lot of things different. As far as the potential we could have had if somebody would have like invested in something else, as far as like, oh, here I go, hold a gun, stand in the game. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, get you nowhere. Basically, at the end of the day, I'm keep it.
How old were you when you got shot?
When I got shot, first time getting shot, I got shot in my arm saving Gato at the gas station.
So what happened? What happened there? And like you said, you were saving Gato the first time you got shot. What year was it? Because we're kind of the same age. I could.
2004.
Okay, so you're.
It was the same year my daughter was born.
You're like 16, 17.
Yeah.
After you got out.
Yeah, I was 17. I was 17.
And what happened there?
I stayed 5341 South Wood then. So, yeah, I was on the block and, doing wild shit. I had just went across the tracks. I'm on a bike, got shot at. I come to the block, go across Western, get shot at.
So the 2-6 are shooting, the Kings are shooting.
Yeah, and I'm just in the bike. I don't know what.
And you're just you're just riding the bike around.
Wild fucking West. Like no gun, no nothing. Just ton people trolling.
Trolling.
Yeah, so when I come back from across Western, I see a blue 4-door, like what was those little cars, little Park Avenues from back in the day. And I see like 2 Hispanics walking, one jersey. So I'm looking like, I call the guys, all the guys that dead end. It's just so I'm like the flakes at the gas station. So I ride my bike up there and they're all walking. So I make it, of course, before them, but I'm kind of like in the street about to come around like this, coming around from like on Western. And as I'm like kind of like on Western, I look back and I see Gato crossing the alley. And I see Buddy and them peep him, and they tell they was with a black guy with braids. They tell him something, and he runs to the car, and he pulls out like where the radio would be.
Yeah.
Pulls it out, pulls the gun out. Well, I'll tell him like, boy, they got a banger. You know what I'm saying? I'm letting him know. Gato's acting like he don't hear me. So as I'm telling them like they got a banger, at the same time, I'm getting out of Dodge, and I went behind the gas station, jumped the gate, and I'm already at the alley.
Okay.
And I remember, like my photographic memory was like, Gato didn't turn around. So I ran back, and when I ran back, they were beating Gato up, and Buddy was about to, like, he pointed a gun at Gato, and I came out. You know what I'm saying? And when he seen me, he upped and started shooting at me, and I jumped to the side. I got hit in the arm, and I got hit on my hip by my belt. But the belt cracked and stopped the bullet, and it just like left a little bruise.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they end up taking me to
So this is the time, because I remember somebody told me that, Rowdy had gotten shot.
Yeah.
And you were by the park, like, with a bullet wound on your arm, trying to get the blood off at the fountain.
Oh, yeah.
And the cops showed up, and they cuffed you.
Yeah.
So you're shot, and the cops are arresting you.
It was I was with Excel at the water fountain. Excel, I remember.
So the cops arrested you.
They didn't arrest me, but they basically
didn't cuff you then.
They basically, treated me like I wasn't shit.
Yeah.
I'm the victim, and it's like they still, and you see me shot, so why you acting like
there's no medical attention given or any type of? They're just
But that's CPD for you. So.
And you said that's the first time you got shot.
Yeah.
So you've gotten shot after that?
Yeah, the second time I got shot, I just had brung a bunch of the folks, like Lil Goofy, Pun. We had like a little crew, OBs, and there was a bunch of like 4 or 5 people, like, put them on the wall. And we took a march across the tracks. And of course, I stayed across the track. So basically we went like by my house. And I had one of the guys in the gangway on security, and it was like 5 people on each corner on every
Meaning somebody was strapped.
Yeah.
In between 2 houses.
Yup. In between my house.
Oh, on security by your house.
Yeah. Nice pipe.
On Hoyne.
Yeah, on Hoyne.
Nice pipe.
Yeah, we was trying to like basically take that over right there. So, I send a couple of the guys through the next block, you go over 1 block and down 1 block, and they'll be right there up under the viaduct. Boom, they go, false flag or whatever. They come back. They were on every corner. They were on like this side of the street, on the Damon side of Hoyne, and me and Stroh was on this side, like where that lady Anne Marie used to stay.
Yeah.
Right there by the lot. We're right there in that corner on my side.
So you're basically invading a hood, trying to take over.
Yeah.
And you got people with guns.
Yeah.
And you got soldiers, your soldiers basically going around the block, seeing if there's any of the other gang out there.
Precisely. So a car passes, and I was familiar with the car because, of course, I stayed over there. I grew up with all these guys, and they bricked the car. You know, logs, bricks, just as soon as you made it to the intersection, just pummeled this shit. You feel me?
Yeah.
So maybe what, I'm gonna say 5 to 10 minutes later, somebody comes out the gangway across the street, and little T's like, he's like, "Hey, Rowdy, who that?" And it's like 10 people right there, and it's just me and Monster on this side, and he was in that side and came like straight towards me. So I see him, but like if he crosses the street, he has to walk past the house where we had security.
Okay.
So in my head, I'm like,
You got somebody over there.
I got somebody over there. So what I do is I'm like, hey, I see him walking, and he got like his hand in his pocket. So I'm, hey, take your hand out your pocket. He come out. He took his hand out of his pocket. He come out.
And he had something?
He had a 357 Magnum. But he had some 38 shells in that bitch. If he would have hit me with the 7, he probably would have fucked me up decent.
Where'd you get hit?
I got hit in my inner thigh, left thigh, and the bullet, it stayed in me for a while until one day it rejected itself to the surface a little bit, and I just opened it was like
You conducted surgery on yourself?
basically popped the bullet out.
So how long did that take? How long was the bullet in there?
A couple months. No,
Oh, okay. So it was kind of quick when it came out. It wasn't like years.
no, it was probably already near the surface.
But you went to the hospital for that?
Yeah, I was in the hospital maybe a week. I had a bruised nerve. I still have a bruised nerve from that today.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
So were you on the ground? The bullet drop you, or
so I basically got hit by a ricochet. You know, like I cut between the car and the bullet hit the bumper.
so this scenario that took place, did he unload, or 2 shots, 1 shot? How many shots took place? Do you remember?
He shot all 6. He shot all 6.
So you have that in your memory,
Yeah.
and is that something
But
that?
see, in my head, when I take off running, I'm just expecting to hear who's ever on security, you know, like behind him or something, because he didn't see him. You know what
But
I'm saying?
you heard the shots.
I heard his shots.
Yeah, no, but your security,
No shots.
no shots.
No shots. But see, you know, that comes with
Well,
like,
here. Let me before you get into that, let me just touch on something. You've told us the stories of you getting shot, and they're, you know, in the first one, someone almost dies. You save them basically by you getting shot at.
Mm-hmm.
You get shot twice, but one of them doesn't penetrate your skin. You have a scenario where you get shot a different time. You hear these shots. These are extremely traumatic scenarios. You're in a war zone, you know what I mean? These are guns you're getting shot with. It's not, you know, paintballing either. So these scenarios you're experiencing, is this something that, like, to this day, do you have flashbacks? Do you have dreams? Do you have anxiety, stress, some sort of like ongoing scenario that stresses you out because you can't get that out of your head?
I mean, it's a everyday, you know, an ongoing battle every day, basically.
Absolutely, yeah.
Every day, like it ain't a day go past probably that something I'm thinking about, and I'm a overthinker, so I'll think about the same situation 100 different ways, you know, like
yeah. You're still here. You're still alive.
Yeah, as many scenarios as possible. But yeah, I mean, I done been in situations where,
So, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was just gonna ask you something because this
like,
is
I've been standing at the gas station and so high. I'm talking about what you call lacking hard to the point where they start shooting at us and we run towards where the nigga shooting at because we didn't see where he was shooting from. And
okay.
and when I turned around, like,
You're just getting closer.
no, the bullet literally hit the wall, like next to my head. Like if this is my head, it hit the brick wall.
So you heard it buzzing past
I
you.
seen it, like
Okay.
I seen it hit the wall, like, you know what I'm saying? And this shit like that, it'll always stick with you, like, you know,
Yeah. That close.
Yeah, that's like, what, 6 inches over or 4 cent, you know what I'm saying? 4 inches over. But it's like, it's crazy, but it take shit like jail to actually help you, like, realize and see, like, damn, how dumb the shit was that we was doing. And then it's like, when I...
So in other words, sometimes the system does work and it does help you,
but
it's not always just
it's not
shitty.
it's not the system. It's more of the people that are in jail. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, the wisdom.
The wisdom and the knowledge and the experience, the politicking, like,
I see.
it's a lot of
If you had somebody with that wisdom in the streets telling you, you wouldn't need jail. You just need somebody that's telling you better.
yeah, basically, and then you run into, man, good people. Like, this basically where all the real niggas at, locked up. And this shit out here that's going on today, I don't condone that shit, and I don't support that shit. I don't know what the fuck these niggas on.
Well, you've been shot at. How many times have you been shot at?
That's, man, I can't even count.
Yeah.
I can't even count.
I figured that'd be a question that you couldn't answer, but I had to ask because I want to, let the audience know how common this sort of shit is out here. And it's so common that you can't even count how many times you've been shot at. You can't even count how many times you've heard gunshots. That's two different things. You could hear gunshots every night for weeks,
Yeah.
So, I mean, what about doing the shooting? Did you ever conduct a shootout or a shooting, whether, you were aiming at a person or at a car or anything like that?
Yeah, of course. I done had my share, my fair share of gun battles or, missions, whatever you want to call it. But, I can only say so much about that type of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to make you say more than you have to either.
Yeah, but, everybody should have been on a mission, or, you can't call yourself a gangster, you know what I mean, But everybody got a position. You can't expect everybody. I mean, that's part of, like, life. People just got to know, like, some people gonna make money, some people gonna sit in the house and play the game. Some people,
Yeah.
You can't expect everybody to. But me as a person, I'm just like, when I love something, like, I really love that, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like,
Okay.
once I lose love for it, then it's like,
You're done.
done.
Yeah.
Done.
So,
Unless you, like, family, long time friends, only certain, but, like, majority of the time, it's just like over with. But, like, I gave my all. I gave my all to, like, basically the block. And it wasn't until I walked away that my life started going in a different direction. For the positive, for the better.
for the best.
Because, I mean, you got to look from where I was at, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, shit, even
Well, 10 years
10
ago,
years ago.
10 years ago, you were on the paper for having a shootout with the Chicago police.
yeah.
So, what was that all about? What happened there? How are you here? How are you alive? You're a black man who got in a shootout with the cops, not just pulled over, and you're literally alive to tell the story. What happened there? What was that situation about? You're not in jail. You're not in prison.
Wrong place at the wrong time. But no, I mean, I think about it like every day, and it's just like that's another reason why I already know like I don't have too many more chances, because eventually it's like
Your luck's gonna run up.
luck is gonna run out.
But what about the shooting with the police though? Did that happen? Is it another scenario where you're not necessarily the shooter, but you're around, and then you're considered, the same kind of like the murder case you had to serve
Yeah.
a couple years for?
It was basically, I wouldn't say exactly the same.
Or were you the shooter?
No, I wasn't a shooter.
You weren't the shooter.
No.
Were you? Was this in a car?
Yeah.
Were you?
And we got shot at. We got shot at, for the record.
So the police were shooting at you.
Yeah, police.
You
shot
weren't shooting back necessarily.
at. Nah.
So it wasn't necessarily a shootout. It was the cops were shooting at you guys.
Yeah, they shot at us.
Wow. Okay. So they just, the paper switched it up, because I saw your face. I'm like, what the heck? Rowdy's getting in a shootout with police, but they really, put it in terms of like you guys were shooting at each other.
Yeah, and they even had a witness come to court, and like he lied in the statement and said it was a shootout.
Wow.
And
Under oath, huh?
Yeah, but
Well, who was the witness? Was it a police officer, or was it like somebody off the streets?
his name was
He's gonna name drop him.
Jose Pena.
Oh, okay.
Pena.
I thought you were gonna say Jose Garcia. I mean, that's such a, how many Jose Peñas is there? Hundreds,
He tricked.
thousands.
He tricked. He was just a bystander at the gas station, and it was this female named Mermaid. She was actually in the car with us.
Did anybody get shot?
No, nobody got shot.
Did the car get shot?
No, our car didn't get shot.
How many times did they shoot at you guys?
He dumped about a soul buck, but I was wondering like how the fuck was he the police and he ain't hit shit. He ain't hit the car. I ain't hear a bullet hit that bitch, and it's like we played chicken.
That's what you guys were doing you were playing chicken with the cops?
Yeah.
Oh,
they
shit.
They passed us, and then they came back, and we were like playing chicken. Cause I ain't gonna lie, I was fucked up.
Oh, okay. What are you doing? What? Drinking, smoking?
Drinking, smoking pills, all type of shit. So
Who's driving?
I'm driving.
Okay, so you're playing you know it's the cops?
No, I don't know it's the cops.
Oh, you don't even know it's the cops.
No, I don't know it's the cops.
You just see a car and you start playing chicken?
They passed us. They was in the car, hoodied up. So I'm thinking this,
Oh,
I'm thinking
so
this,
it's undercover narcs.
the whole time it's narcs. It's the dicks, you feel me? So when they come back, I'm thinking they own something, because they was in a bubble. They wasn't in like a Crown Vic. They was in like a bubble where it was unmarked, and they in that bitch hoodied up.
Okay.
Like
So-
two Latino police.
So they look like
They look like gangbangers.
bangers.
They look like gangbangers. So when they come back, I'm basically playing chicken, because I'm not gonna let you get on the side of me and just shoot the car up. So basically, when we both get next to each other, we both play chicken, and I kind of like let off the gas and just start like coasting because I'm trying to see like who is this, but I'm so fucked up. And they just stopped. The passenger came across the he came across the top of the car and just let off about a sawbuck. I got up out of there.
And this is Chicago police, so they're acting like gangbangers. They're shooting. This is a scenario where almost, you know, they're acting up. It's not even just you guys being fucked up and drinking and driving, and they're also, you know, playing a game.
Yeah. And then my rappy was Looney.
So you went
Shout
to
out to Looney, you know, he doing the cuts too from old bro. Elbow.
Yeah, I see that. It looks nice.
Yeah.
Now I know what a bridge is.
Yeah, a bridge.
So, how much time did you have to serve for that?
I did 3 years in the county.
3 years in Cook County.
In
That's
Cook.
the worst place to be.
That's the best place to be. Well, not right now. Right now, they.
So you did 3 years in the county. Then did they have to switch you over to a prison, a big house?
Well, when I only got 5 years. My case was. I got found guilty of fleeing and alluring. So basically, the bitch that was in the car that tricked, her statement basically, you know, helped me beat my case. Because I had basically attempt murder under accountability, fleeing and alluring, and
So you served 5 years for that?
no, I was sentenced to 5 years at 50%.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So you got out of
So
you got out of
I
county.
basically did more time than I was supposed to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
6 more months.
No. Hell no.
Oh, you did more than 3 years?
Oh, yeah, you're right. 6 more months. Because wait. Yeah, an extra half a year, right?
Right. Well, if you did 3 exact.
No, so I did it an extra year, right?
Close.
Yeah, but I dressed in and dressed out. So me and my rappy, we went to the joint together. You know, we took that ride and I got down there dressed in, dressed out. But I had a warrant in DuPage County. And I was salty. You know, I had to be locked up 3 years. And then I gotta go process into a whole nother jail.
Oh, yeah?
It's Friday, so I gotta wait till Monday to go to court.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So now it's like the day I'm supposed to get out, I gotta do 3 more days. I'm like, oh, this shit crazy. But, you know, this is DuPage County. You know, I knock this shit out of the park. You know, I sit back 3 days, kick my feet up, play chess, and chill out. Got out. They don't give you no money. They don't give you no bus fare. They don't give you nothing. They just let you out. And I stay out in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
But, you know, I made my way home. I had to, hey, let me get $5. You know, people started, you know, one guy who was locked away probably gave me like $5. Ran into some lady. I think she was locked up as well. And then
So it's people that helped you out on the way.
yeah, I end up catching a ride. One thing.
Were you hitchhiking?
I might as well say.
What about the serial killers? They don't scare you?
Nah.
You're like, I'm a gangster. Try something.
No.
So, Rowdy, you know, and just to let the audience know too, it's ironic that we did a song right before you went to jail for that police shooting. We did a song that talks about getting, you know, shooting at cops and getting shot at and all that, which I do want to play for the audience at the end of this. But, you know, as far as all this goes and you experiencing, you know, some of the worst scenarios besides, you know, you're not dead, so you have to live with all this shit. You have to sleep if you can. What's some of the things that you do to, get by? Are you meditating? What or is it something you even give it attention to, or how is it that you get by on a daily basis? If you care to share any of that.
I just I really don't pay no attention. I put it in the back of my head and I try to think about, I made it this far, how much farther can I make it? Like, my next step in life, setting goals and just basically continuing to live.
So you're living in the now.
Living in the now.
And that's that you don't dwell, you try not to focus on what happened. You try to focus on what's happening now.
Yeah, because it happened. We really don't got any control over that, but I basically do have control over what happens next. So it's just like from this point on, it's like no excuses. Everything is like my fault. You know what I'm saying? It's like I've been given chance after chance, and it's like, like eventually, it'll come around, like, and when I'm 35, man, like, I ain't got no time to get them people. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't got no time to get them people. I've been doing it my whole life. I've been out of jail. This is the longest I've ever been out of jail. My whole life. I've been out of jail 10 years since I got out for that. When I got out 2013. So March 10th
of this year,
I make a year that I've been out of jail. The longest in my whole life. From that, all the way up until 13. So from 2001 to 2013, I got locked up every year but the year when I was 17. 17 was the only year I stayed out. That's the year I got shot. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Getting shot, serving time, getting shot, dealing with cops, shooting at you. Yeah. I mean, a lot's happened, it sounds like. And, I want to thank you for being on the show and sharing your story, because I know it's not easy to talk about sometimes. But you sharing it is, it's helpful for people that are ignorant to this life, and especially because, you hear it on the news, but that's it.
Yeah.
But here you are, explaining your real life scenario of like how you deal with it and what you're doing. So I appreciate that you came on and shared this with us. And hopefully it helps, the youth to hear you say that, there's better ways. And for those who have gone through things as well, can try to practice on living in the now like you do. Because as a survivor, that's what helps you. And that might be able to help someone else who's not able to concentrate so much the way you are. And even though you do have an everyday struggle, you tell us and share with us how living in the now and what are you doing now? What's your focus that helps you get through? So thanks again for being on. We're gonna wrap it up and we're gonna play the song we did right before that shootout with the cops that Rowdy is featured on doing the verse. So thanks for listening, and Rowdy, thanks for being with us.
All right, for sure.
My niggas coming from the real Sun City. My niggas gon' ride in the Circle City. SD's 23rd, Murder Town, 50th and Oakley, Grammy, Willie, my niggas coming from the real Sun City. My niggas gon' ride in the Circle City. SD's 23rd, Murder Town, 50th and Oakley, Grammy, Willie,
you ain't never spit rounds, ain't never been locked up. You ain't never shutting down, or open a shop up. You ain't moving in pounds, ain't known the cop stuff. This is Chi-Town, weaving light in the gossip. You ain't never spit rounds, ain't never been locked up. You ain't never shutting down, or open a shop up. You ain't moving in pounds, ain't known the cop stuff. This is Chi-Town, weaving light in the gossip.
I used to be a broke nigga, I ain't never had shit. Now I ride slick and I make hoes gag dick. I even got white bitches on me like I'm Brad Pitt. I'm on the block to the last brick, last nigga me falling off. Hell no, not a tad bit. But if I fall, oh shit, getting nasty. Yeah, I got to have it. Cock a nigga blast it. Run nigga to stash it. His Rowdy D is drastic and I ain't got a mask bit. Sitting in the caddy flashing. Ties look elastic. Kush got me blasted. Niggas asking me to pass it. Yeah, it's the last hit, so I got to have it. But a nigga rich, so fuck it, yeah, he can have it. Grammyville real nasty, never fun. Run out the slides, kill you in the sun. And you know I'm from.
You ain't never spit rounds, ain't never been locked up. You ain't never shutting down, or open a shop up. You ain't moving in pounds, ain't known the cop stuff. This is Chi-Town, we even lighting the cops up. You ain't never spit rounds, ain't never been locked up. You ain't never shutting down, or open a shop up. You ain't moving in pounds, ain't known the cop stuff. This is Chi-Town, we even lighting the cops up.